Hi, my name's Peter White. I'm a genomics scientist at Nationwide Children's Hospital and one of the co-founders of GenomeNEXT. Now, genomic medicine is really a new field in the medical area that is outstripping astronomy in terms of the amount of data that it generates. When we sequence a patient's genome, we're looking through over 3 billion characters, trying to find that one character that's a typo that leads to genetic disease. Now, these are my twins, Samantha and Charlotte, and while they look very similar, what you can't see is that Charlotte was born with a healthy heart, and her sister Samantha, who's Fing1, was born with a congenital heart defect. Now, congenital heart defects, like other genetic diseases, are a leading cause of disability, death, and human tragedy, and it's critically important for us to be able to diagnose these diseases early on in life. That's particularly true in the case of kids that are born with metabolic disorders. The ability to rapidly diagnose these diseases can make a huge difference in terms of how they're treated. And it could be as simple as modifying an infant's formula. Now, at Nationwide Children's, we have the strategy over the next 5 years to introduce genomic medicine into the common day, everyday practice of pediatrics. Now, when we did the first human genome sequence, it took about 15 years to sequence those 3 billion base pairs. Now today in my lab, I can sequence up to 12 human genomes simultaneously in just 3 days. The challenge for us has become, how do we deal with all of that data? How do we analyze it, organize it, and store it? And to answer that, show you the solution to that, I'd like to introduce James Hermes, CEO of GenomeNEXT.
Thank you, Peter. So as Peter was explaining the business problem, how do you handle all this data in terms of storage and compute? How can you get through this data fast and accurate? So GenomeNEXT, in partnership with Nationwide Children's Hospital Research Institute, implemented a platform as a service called GenomeNEXT that allows us to quickly, securely, and accurately take raw genomic data and analyze it in under 2 hours with an accuracy of 99.9%. Now, that's fast and great in of itself. However, we have to scale. We have to scale to thousands of patients. And the reason that's important is because we're looking to discover how genetic diseases are caused within the genome and what variants cause those. So that goes to population studies. We were challenged by Amazon Web Services, not the bookstore, but the cloud computing company, and Intel to take on a large-scale population. That population is the 1,000 Genomes Project, where they sequenced and analyzed 2,500 people from around the world. That took 18 months for this group to perform that analysis. At the same time, GenomeNEXT was challenged to do that same project, and what we did was able to complete that in 7 days on Amazon. So 18 months to 7 days. They had about 200 scientists working on that project. We had one person that uploaded the data and ran the analysis and was fully automated. Additionally, it was at a fraction of the cost that it took the other organization because we're using cloud computing, which is disposable infrastructure. So the technology behind this is essentially, there's a medical instrument called a sequencer that takes the biology, converts it into a data file, and that's where GenomeNEXT comes in. We take that data file and perform secondary analysis on our software as a service platform, and the principles behind that is simplicity. We've made it so that anyone in the lab, you don't need to have a bioinformatics degree to perform the secondary analysis. You just need to be able to use a user interface so that we can basically bring that into the market. And then once the analysis is done, user gets an email, and we provide them with annotation of which variants in the genome might be causing disease. We're fortunate to have a great team. You heard Peter speak just a few minutes ago. So Peter and his team is the inventor of the algorithms. Chris Drescher has about 20 years experience in the clinical space, and especially in the clinical regulatory compliance. And then myself, I've successfully launched cloud computing companies in the service space. I have a lot of experience on the federal side in security, which security is a very important part of our platform. So the story here is JHC Technology, which is my other cloud company, with partnership with NCH to take the integration of cloud computing on Amazon Web Services and the algorithms that came out of the Nationwide Children's Hospital, and together we formed a new company called GenomeNEXT. The market size right now, it's a somewhat of an emerging market, but it's quickly moving from emerging to a standard. As Peter was saying earlier, a lot of hospitals are now making a commitment that they want every child coming through to be sequenced and analyzed so that we can have a base of their genomic makeup. Additionally, the market is growing. We're also working with forensics companies that are using this for forensic analysis. There are a few competitors in the market. However, some unique things about our platform is it's fully automated. It doesn't require us to know code. It doesn't require anyone to know bioinformatics. You just need to have user interface. Additionally, it's 100% reproducible and deterministic from our algorithm perspective, which makes it relevant for the clinical space. And our accuracies outperform all of our competitors by a large margin. So GenomeNEXT, we have the right people, the right technology, and we're hoping to disrupt the genomics market now and in the future. We have a booth outside, so please visit us when you have a chance. Thank you.